Hey, let's dive right into a really wild idea. What if every single choice you've ever made, big or small, actually split reality and created a brand new universe? That's the mind-bending concept at the heart of multiverse theory. And today, we're not just going to talk about infinite worlds. We're going to explore a really profound and personal question that comes right along with it.
And that question is this. If there really are countless other universes, maybe even countless versions of you, then are we really truly alone? Or is something much stranger going on? That's the big mystery we're going to try and unpack today.
So, to even start answering that, we immediately run into this massive paradox. On one hand, the theory of the multiverse suggests an infinitely crowded reality, just packed with worlds. But on the other hand, our own experience, our life, feels incredibly singular, sometimes, even lonely. How can both of those things be true at the same time?
This quote just nails the tension perfectly. The multiverse might be churning out an endless sea of different realities, but what if beings like us, who can actually observe those realities, are super, super rare? Well, if that's the case, then existence isn't about infinite variety, it's about eternal isolation.
Okay, to really get a handle on this paradox, we need to kind of pop the hood on the multiverse machine itself. I mean, where are all these other worlds supposed to be coming from? Well, the whole theory really boils down to two major scientific ideas. So this whole concept we have today was really built by some incredible pioneers. It kind of kicked off back in 1957 when a physicist named Everett III came up with a really radical new way to look at quantum physics. Then, decades later, Alan Guth introduced a theory about the birth of our cosmos that just took that idea and blew it up to a whole new level. First up is Everett's many worlds idea. I want you to imagine reality not as a straight line, but as a giant, branching tree. Now, every single time a tiny quantum event happens that has more than one possible outcome, like a particle spinning left or right, reality doesn't just choose one. No. Instead, it splits. A whole new branch, a whole new universe is created for every single possibility. Now take that idea and let's add Alan Guth's theory of eternal inflation. This suggests that the Big Bang wasn't just a one-and-done event. Instead, picture this vast cosmic foam that's constantly expanding, constantly creating new bubble universes. Our entire cosmos, everything we know, is just one of those bubbles. And there could be countless others out there, each one maybe even having its own unique laws of physics. So what kind of scale are we talking about here? It's hard to even wrap your head around it. But based on things like string theory, some scientists estimate that this eternal inflation process could produce 10 to the power of 500 different types of bubble universes. That's a 1 followed by 500 zeros. It's a number so huge, it's pretty much infinite for all practical purposes. So, okay, we have a theory that can create an endless number of worlds. But let's pull this back from the cosmic scale, right down to the personal. What does all this mind-boggling infinity actually mean for your singular, unique experience of being alive, right here, right now? And this is where the paradox really hits you. On one side, the theory says there are infinite realities, a place where every possibility is happening somewhere. But on the other side, what's our experience? It's total isolation. We live one single linear life. The theory says there are countless versions of you out there, but you feel completely, utterly unique. This is really the key question, isn't it? If there's another you who took that job you turned down, or another you who moved to that city you always dreamed of, why can't you feel them? Why don't all these realities just sort of bleed into each other? Why does your consciousness feel like one continuous, unbroken, and solitary stream? Well, the scientific answer can be summed up in one pretty technical word: decoherence. So what is that? Think of it this way. All those branching realities are like a million radio stations all playing at once, just creating a wall of static. Decoherence is the process that tunes out all that noise, and it leaves you with just one single clear station. That's your reality. It basically walls off the other branches from your perception, forcing you down one solitary path. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, this is a fascinating idea, but is there any actual, evidence? And that is absolutely the right question to ask. The completely honest answer is no. There's no direct proof. We can't exactly book a flight to another bubble universe, at least not yet. But there are some really intriguing clues, little hints in the cosmos. One is what's called the fine-tuning problem. Like, why are the laws of physics in our universe so perfectly balanced for life to even exist?
Well, if you have infinite universes, it's not a miracle anymore. It's just a statistical certainty that one like ours would pop up. Another clue could be these mysterious cold spots in the afterglow of the Big Bang. Some physicists think these might be like cosmic bruises, leftovers from when our universe bumped into another bubble universe way back in the beginning.
So, with these little clues in mind, let's try looking at this from a totally different angle. What if our isolation, our solitude, isn't a bug in the system, but a feature? What if this cosmic loneliness is actually what makes our existence so meaningful? Several big ideas actually seem to support this idea of a precious isolation. The Anthropic Principle, for example, suggests that only stable, disconnected universes like ours could support life long enough for observers to evolve. Messy, connected ones might just fall apart. And then there's Fermi's paradox. Where are all the aliens? Well, that great silence in our own universe feels even deeper when you imagine infinite, unreachable other worlds. Our solitude might just be a basic rule of the game.
And that gets us to the really crucial point here. Maybe the big lesson from the multiverse isn't about the infinite number of other yous. Maybe it's about the staggering rarity and unbelievable value of this you. In an infinite ocean of possibilities, your conscious experience, the one you're having right now, listening to this, is an astonishingly precious event. And hey, you can even explore this idea for yourself. It's a pretty powerful thought experiment. First, just trace back the key decisions, the big turning points that brought you to this exact moment. Next, just let yourself imagine those other paths, the yous that made the other choice. And then, finally, bring it back and focus on the choices that did create connection in this reality, the ones that led you to the people who define your one, singular, precious life. Which brings us right back to our final question. Is this unique, isolated path you're walking, is it just a cosmic accident, or is that very solitude, that singularity in a sea of infinity, the very thing that makes your existence completely and utterly priceless? Something to think about. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.